I thought the boys outgrew a lot of the jokes that we saw this episode. But apparently they still got time to be disgusting, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. Let's break down episode 6 of The Boys. Spoilers if you aren't up to date. Mother's Milk confusing his panic attack with a heart attack is the blackest thing I've seen on this show. Honestly, kudos to him for not having one sooner, because his team is just so incompetent and selfish. He's been perpetually cleaning up their mess. Honestly, I would have lost it and quit the moment this man webcummed in my face. Remember, he didn't even want to be here. He's been dragged back into this life by Butcher, who's not going to survive the next 2 months. It's nasty work, and I hope he gets a vacation. Last week I didn't even talk about Frenchie because his character is so insignificant at this point. I think they're trying to get rid of the actor, and you know what? Good riddance. I just couldn't get invested in this whole prison storyline. He is the absolute worst. This actor actually left the show. I'm hoping this will give the show room to flesh out Kimiko because she's a very interesting character. Speaking of interesting characters, Newman, no notes. I can't tell you how many times I thought about killing myself when talking to some dumb guy, particularly when I get fan theories. A couple weeks ago, I put out the theory that I thought Negan wasn't real, and the amount of men who said I need to read the comics because I had this fun little fan theory, as if the show was this faithful adaptation of the comics. Like, the way men cannot be fucking for real. Look at this comment, pause to read, calling me a dumb American clown because I've actually seen Fight Club. Either way, this reveal was not as rewarding as I thought it would be. It was just so painfully obvious in the last couple episodes. The bigger twist from this scene is Butcher actually considering committing genocide. The most unhinged part was him thinking a scientist could just whip up a new virus. Butcher just may be the final villain in season 5. But back to Newman. I don't think Homelander realized how much his plan relied on 2 women of color. For his plan to work, he has to give up so much power, and you can tell that it's annoying him. It took less than 5 minutes for him to lose the politicians. City Star did a really good job of selling how annoyed Homelander was that they didn't just take what he said at face value. Goes back to what Sage was saying before, that this man cannot handle not being the smartest in the room. Which is crazy because how often does he have that advantage? I didn't realize how bad I needed this conversation between these 2 women. Hearing Sage talk about the helplessness of having information as a black woman and reminding Newman how they can manipulate the system from their position, giving me hope that she's not as bad as we think she is. I am nervous about the state of her plan because there are so many variables that I can't even fathom she thought about. Maybe she is that good. Maybe she considered if someone would have shot her in the head and she wouldn't be able to give that presentation. I'm almost certain she wasn't ready for Firecracker. I watched this scene at least 10 times. First of all, someone look at Homelander's face. Anthony Starr! Can't get over it. It's funny that Firecracker is the one who ended up breastfeeding Homelander when Sage told Ashley to do it because she felt like it was a menial task that Soups shouldn't be doing. Firecracker honestly surprised me. I kind of liked her this episode. She seems scrappy in a way that I respected. It also doesn't help that Starlight continues to be the worst. I understand having to knock her out. Maybe because it made that apology seem less genuine, I wasn't for it even more. And I realized in this moment why I don't like Starlight anymore. I think it's because she is so self-righteous. She herself is a terrible person. I just can't jive with her refusal for accountability. I can't believe we had a Batman and a Spider-Man parody in the same scene. Nuance that I think a lot of people won't get is that Tech 9 being a corporate shell is supposed to be the opposite of Batman. The way that Web Slinger was the opposite of Spider-Man. Bruce Wayne would never invest in modern day slavery. It's just a common misconception of his character. He actively puts his money into helping Gotham, whereas Tech 9 is actively destroying the community. Getting out his plan gave way more weight to the racist comments toward A-Train. I thought it was a great contrast, one that will slide under the radar, especially since Websinger was a more obvious parody, down to the joke that Spider-Man should be shooting out webs out his butt. The Zendaya joke was so well placed. I will say that I felt like the scenes were staged to be so lighthearted that it was hard to feel the gravity of what was occurring. Huey was essayed multiple times and it all felt like a joke to me. I had to take a step back when he broke down in front of Starlight and recalibrate. It's a sight gag of Ashley tickling him, the whole safe word thing. It's just really hard for me to conceptualize that this man was going through it on the first watch. I will say my boy did a really good job this episode getting that bug in, getting the information out of Tech 9, and honestly holding his cover for so long that had to be difficult. I'm worried for him now that he has this information on Newman. Not more worried than I am with A-Train. Ooh, this boy has me strong. stressed. I can't believe that at this point, he's one of the most endearing characters on the show. Like, who would have thought? In the look of joy in his eyes when he finally got to feel like a hero, probably for the very first time, broke my heart because I knew, like, this is probably the benediction. A-Train is working so hard to improve himself. Already, it's showing that it's not in vain. Baby sister Sage has a plan for him and he'll survive. Not optimistic. And let me tell you, I'm gonna miss that sound he makes when he goes into super speed. I'll finish this recap on A-Train, but I almost forgot about Black Noir. I be forgetting that the 7 is just a job, and I found this conversation between the two of them very enlightening. First of all, I love the running joke that this actor is not understanding Black Noir because this is the original actor who's been playing Black Noir in the suit before they replaced him in those flashbacks. I wonder once again if this is a part of Sage's plan, the deep kind of mentoring Black Noir and bringing him under his wing, because Sage has been working to get this man on her side. There's something brewing with Black Noir. We gotta not sleep on it. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I cannot wait for the next one. I know shit is about to go down. 4 out of 5 Frankie Flames.